Hi everybody, this is Odd Samurai, and today I'm gonna be reacting to ReZero Season 4, Episode 14. Yeah. So, as usual, I'm gonna talk about last episode. And this time, I made notes once again, which I'm gonna be reading off of, because there's quite a bit of things that I want to talk about. So let's just get on with it. So first is gonna be the Julius scene. And the conclusion I came out of that was that I could be wrong, but I think that what was holding Julius back wasn't necessarily his admiration for the knight code, but rather what he thinks everyone expects of him as a knight. That might seem like the same thing, but I think there's a clear distinction. Because ever since he was a kid, seeing Reinhardt be the strongest, he's put shackles of unreachable heights, as he's never truly believed he even belongs there. He thought everyone forgetting him meant he'd lost all semblance of personal achievements, but it's all there. Like he says, right? Everything that I cultivated and grew, I haven't lost it. So what if no one remembers all his journey to what got him here? People, or here in particular Subaru, still believe in him because of the way that he carries the way he carries himself shows how much he's worth to be worthy of the title. And he immediately is like, my appearance, huh? I mean, I don't think he's meaning literally like, oh, how he looks is what makes Subaru think that, but just, the way that he behaves and his attitude towards, Stroll, like Subaru saw in the failed loop before this one. Just, he is not lacking in resolve, but rather because, since he thinks he's not gonna win, so that's what he needs. The belief that he will not lose. Then we got, a very short moment that shows some Amelia growth. She feels more flexible now, not making Subaru promise to come back because, it might not be up to him, and so she will not hold it against him. Which is very different from how she was, in season 2. But, it was completely understandable how hard she took it, especially because Subaru would not explain until she saw with her own eyes why, he didn't spend the night alongside her. So then we go to the corridor of memories. And Rui says that there's too many souls inside them. So that's why they use we, because they don't know which one is really the dominating personality. So it's like, yeah, no wonder they're so unstable. If anything, it's a miracle there's any kind of consistency with all of those souls inside them just, roaming around. And at first I was like, oh, Rui knows about Subaru's feelings on his parents because she took his memories. Then it's like, wait a minute. But she wasn't able to take or eat the memories before he got summoned to this world. So how did you know that? And that's when I was like, oh right. She would have seen the trial with the Echidna. So that's how. That's how. But yeah, it's so creative to have the gluttony authority be used as a weaponized empathy. It's so effective that it's used against Subaru, since he's usually using his empathy for others to help them and become a better version of themselves. So yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, the memory corridor is a washing machine. And that begs the question, where do the souls go after being cleaned? Because Rui says like, oh, they're ready to be used again. So what is the implication here? Is reincarnation a thing in this world? And it's only now that we're being privy to that being a possibility? So because Subaru asks like, if the field is memories and experiences, and she responds with, if that's the easiest way to understand, sure. So it's up to interpretation, but that's kind of a big lore reveal, just to kind of like, basically leave us as the audience to be like, keep this in mind. But yeah, the first time she said like, the cradle of old Ragna, I was like, what the hell is that? Okay, just a new addition to the world, but it's not new actually. I saw another translation of this, another, version of subtitles, and they used Old Lagna. And then I remembered, oh wait, that's definitely been mentioned before. That's, the thing or the, being that gives people divine protections. And I think it also gives like the world, just mana in general. And that's how, that's why people have gates, to turn that mana into magic. Correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't go and check when Puck explained it to Subaru. I think it was in season 1, episode 8. But, I didn't go and see it to know the exact wording. And I think it was also mentioned in Memories to Know. But yeah, okay. So that's why I was kind of confused last episode, because I thought, okay, this might be just a construct that the gluttony is just, just made it come into existence because of the nature of their authority. But no, this is like, completely separate from them. But they just use it for their own convenience. So, yeah. Alright. Then Rui tries to separate Subaru from Ojibaru, and it starts to work. Of course it does. Progress isn't so easy, despite the huge impact that Emilia, telling him that she accepts Natsuki Subaru in any shape did. Subaru started doubting everyone else, including himself, but seeing their genuine feelings towards him had him change. Part of that was accepting everyone trusted him for good reasons, so Ojibaru couldn't be that bad. But Rui planting the seed of fear that he had to choose between two versions of himself had him regressing a little. Because it's just too tempting to stay the way you are, afraid of change. So she actively manipulated him into being convinced that Ojibaru stayed with the hero complex, until his memories were stolen. Rui wanted him to choose a stagnation and resign himself to a conclusion already chosen. She wanted him to only love the version of himself that was satisfied with not knowing and accepting his full self. So, yeah, that was so well done. And then here comes Rem, representing change. She tells him to not be satisfied with a half-assed decision, choose everything, including himself, the stranger closest to him. He cannot be going down an admirable path if he isn't also choosing himself among the people to protect. Natsuki Subaru is at his best when he doesn't think if he can do something, but jumps in and grabs everyone's hands towards the future. He doesn't give up when things get tough. Rem's hero wouldn't run away from his own flaws. He'd face them head on. Just like he said in Season 2, Episode 12, that, that's what Rem would say to me. Now stand up, since she's the one girl who doesn't go easy on me. And then, we have that whole theme of like when he first shows up in the corridor of memories, Rui tells him, "We love greedy people." Because, when backed into a corner and being reminded by his friends that he's capable of choosing it at all. Sorry. He went back into a corner and being reminded by his friend that he is capable of choosing it all if he doesn't do it alone. In season 1, when asked by Ram if he chooses the blue or red Oni, he chooses both because he wants to help others and make friends. It's just something in him. In season 2, when he makes the bed with Roswell, he gets called greedy by wanting to save the people at the sanctuary and the mansion. And now when Subaru accepts that he can too, a starlight shines from his heart, and a constellation appears, which one of you in the comments pointed out. So I searched it up, and yeah, it's the constellation where the star Regulus is. And I think, the one specifically in his heart was the one where Regulus is. So like Great Witch factor activated, perhaps? It would make sense with, him now being very compatible of that, but in a very positive way. And while Rem calling him her hero may appear as if Rui was right, Subaru doesn't do it anymore because he wants to feel needed, but because people need him, and is willing to bear that burden as shown in season 3's speech. He didn't even consider himself, but it was other people pushing him because he was the right person for others to relate to, and be reassured by his honesty and courage. Rem doesn't coddle him, nor thinks he's perfect here. She's stern because she knows he can take it, and it's what he needs to hear. He's not the type of hero who never falters, because no one is a hero every minute of their life, like Wilhelm said at the beginning of season 3. He sometimes needs some senses knocked into him, like Otto did in the, season 2 core 2 end. And yeah, I got confused on the blue marble that Rui, takes out of her mouth and just tosses away. I guess that was Rem's memories, but why specifically would she toss that out? Of any memory, you think she'd be like, yeah, I'm not getting rid of this one. This would be important, and it could, be trouble. But I guess maybe it just never happened before. The way that Rem's memory is just manifested there. So it wasn't Sue's own perspective of her. That was just, what Rem's consciousness would think to do in this situation. But yeah, Rui's objective is apparently to be happy, but isn't satisfied with just living one life. So I think she also maybe symbolizes escapism, not accepting what life has given her and wanting something completely different, which adds to the stagnation angle. You won't change if you just distract yourself from your problems. So we learned that back in season 1 that return by death isn't a fix all. It's not about the world being the problem, but him refusing to widen his perspective and change. In a meta sense, she's like a viewer who wishes to be Subaru because of his ability to redo things, not understanding that it was used as a detrimental crutch, until he saw how much people care about him. Rui is so focused on living other people's lives that she thinks experiencing death will make her happy. So obsessed with being anyone but herself. She's, in a way, having suicide ideation, which, would track as being a reflection of You know, Subaru has grown past. Also, just as an aside, why did she let him leave? Why did she make the door? Because she'd hope he'll give up once he sees things outside? I think she's underestimating how big of an impact Rem had. And lastly, we see how he swears he'll keep his promise and reassert his identity. So, those were all of my notes. It was pretty lengthy, but I think I said everything I wanted to say. That episode warranted it. So without further ado, let's get into this next episode, shall we? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. We didn't get what we were looking for, but we got something else. Okay. I don't know how, but I believe. What does I say? How do you know the rose and me don't blood? I not got it. Change the torch, remake, renew. Take never boot. Everything I do for you, me like a weapon. Ah, so good. The man don't cast them more. So it's called no other guy. Ah, more. 私の気のなして上列しても僕はあるさ扉の中響くアリアその中であれじゃ ready to crave burning in the desert sun in this now get up. Crazy that moment with Ramus kinda spoiled in the opening. But I would not have been able to obviously predict exactly what happens. I was, hoping that Melee's ability would come in handy, even if there is that many. Oh. I was actually thinking of the loop when Subaru went outside the tower. Yeah, he hasn't seen her fight at all, right? Oh, where's Amelia? Very... yeah. Yeah, of course he was gonna be reminded of Rem. Oh no, her name got eaten. Right? Yeah, he's never seen this before. Oh man. Oh shit. Yeah. And it's two people now. Rem and Emilia. Of course it would affect Ram even more. Oh, that's badass. And Emilia would have no idea that her name has been eaten. Because, you know, it happened after Ram left. Right. Okay, no, she knows. Oh. Oh yeah, that must mean so much for her. Oh, go ahead. I love her. Julius! Hey! Alright. Yeah, they can use the abilities of the people they have inside themselves. Read? What? Oh shit. Is he actually gonna help? Because Lai made him annoyed? That's cool. Oh, that's nice to see. I don't know, I still don't think he's dead. I would not kick him away. He might do something. Please, pretty please. Okay. So right now it's at 2v1. Ah, yeah. I was waiting for him to come back. Subaru? What's happening? Whoa. A galaxy? Does it have to do with the witch factors he has? Oh, yeah. Wait. Wait, I'm not sure. I guess he was looking at like... Oh! Oh, shit! No, 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 no! It just had to be the leg that he cannot regenerate. Satan, what the fuck? What's happening? Yeah, I know. What? He just died? Like that? How? Oh. Okay, so we do have a new reset point. He was able to say it? And nothing happened. I don't really know. Honestly, it's good that we got a new one. Oh, and in this version, he didn't tell this group about Rui first. Okay. He just waited for Julius to come in. I wonder what made Charlotte turn into the scorpion last time. Was it just Reed leaving the test floor? Yeah. Oh. Yes. Oh, this still happening even sooner? It's like he's seeing the souls of the people around him. Oh, yeah. Huh. Oh, cool. They got there before her name was eaten. Yeah, okay. He's gonna recognize Rem's speaking pattern. Oh no! Oh, he was about to taint to that moment. Uh-uh. Ooh, good job, Ram. Okay. Oh, this is neat. He can see where everyone is. Whoa, I love the visuals for this. Oh. the drawback for using it, maybe? Oh. Whoa. Okay, well, he's definitely dead now. Who? Oh. Hmm? Uh, because of the color of her soul. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Oh, good job. Where is Ram? She's fine, right? Okay. Oh, she's way too exhausted from using magic. Yeah. Huh. Oh, okay. They're actually talking about it. Hmm. Well, just one of three. Uh. Ah, shit, we ended up here. Anyway, at the very least, Lai is dead here. I guess they're gonna have to assist Julius. Roy? What do you mean? Huh? Hold on a minute. What exactly does that mean? Hmm. I first thought that the hand reaching for Subaru in this ending was Shaola, but maybe it's Rui. Okay. Oh man, oh man. So, like, what? So, Roy all this time was able to change his appearance to people who he's consumed? Question mark? Like we saw Rui when she was first introduced? Or is this a case of like Subaru, or like a copy of a specific gluttony goes inside your mind. So like that's the body of the person, but they can take control of their body at any time. Like, how long has this been happening? So it was the first time that Reed was introduced? Or did it happen after? Did it happen, around the time that Subaru lost his memories? I don't know. I don't know. But like, Roy sure as hell has not, stopped acting in character for Reed. Even when Julius says he's the senior Bishop of Gluttony, Roy Alford, the expression from Reed doesn't change, Like, there's no clear, obvious sign that it's Roy. He's not making a gluttony-esque expression with the tongue out or something. So, like, like, what would be the point of continuing the farce? But we do see a zoom in, and, he, like, narrows his eye. Like, what does that mean? And how did Julius come to that conclusion? Did Roy actually tell him? Or like, because, yeah. I don't know. That's definitely the most, like, what the hell? Thing that happened this episode. Oh, actually, that's not true. It happened at the end, so it's the most fresh in my mind. But actually, it's not. The most that I got confused in the episode was actually Satella showing up. I got straight up said, well, like, what the fuck is happening? I guess it's, I don't know. Like, the other time that she's shown up in this arc is, when Reed played with Subaru's internal organs and fell down the steps there. And then later in episode 11, when after Foxidna died, and both times I'm guessing because Satella thought he needed comfort, and so she tried to do something like it. But it is very, like, what exactly does it need to happen for her to appear, You could say he was doomed in this loop anyway, so that's why she appeared. But, like, Beatrice was still hanging on to him, and just losing a leg is not, a guarantee that he would die anyway, in my opinion. Yeah, like, we didn't even see him die, Because other times when she shows up, she doesn't actually kill him. She just, like, puts him in this, like, dark cocoon to, like, just have him trapped in a infinite loop of her I love yous. And, those other times he either died or he took it upon himself to die. So I don't know how he died here, but obviously it's ambiguous intentionally, so I'm not sure how, like, what to make of that. I guess you could say Satala is the owner of Return by Death, so if she so wanted, she could initiate the ability without actually Subaru dying, but I don't know. So okay, good episode, but it wasn't like anything like, you know, that was like super, you know, emotionally rich. But you know, yeah, it's still really interesting. Just seeing the failed loop, and immediately it's like, okay, let's try things differently, and you know, let's from the get-go have people go to like different duties that will be very personalized for them, and that I think will be the most likely for things to succeed. So the episode title is The 5 Obstacles. So if all of the... Okay, so... Lai... Rui, technically... She's... Even though she's in the corridor of memories, I feel she counts. Roy / Reed. Now I'm putting them together with that reveal. All of the Mavis, you know, trying to get into the tower. And then 5 is Shaula the Scorpion. And yeah, that's why Subaru wanted Julius to try and deal with Julius before Shaula turned into a scorpion, but yeah, it was not gonna happen that quick. But at the very least, she did help. She killed Lai, but she's still running around being in trouble. So at the very least, we don't have Roy Reed alongside with Lai. So that makes things a little easier, question mark. And yeah, like I'm so surprised that, you know, the group at the end was like, wait, you have an authority? What's up with that? Because, you know, when Subaru first used Invincible Providence, no one, like, questioned that. Like, yo, how did you punch Garfield without moving at all? But here they're actually, you know, wanting to know about it. Now, like, he probably told them about Invisible Providence during the 1-year time skip. But, you know, I was not expecting them to acknowledge it right away. But yeah, it's good to know that, have all the info about each other's abilities as it happens. Yeah, he can vaguely see where everyone is within the tower. And like, I think it's Ram who is like, oh, okay, so it's an authority. Oh, it's Beatrice. Makes sense, actually. Yeah, and Emilia is like, is that what you thought that Scorpion was Shaula? But no, he didn't think that is Shaula. But it doesn't seem like after, you know, after that, she's convinced that that's what it is. So that's, you know, that's obviously the greed witch factor. I'm just thinking, like, how does that relate to Regulus being able to stop time within his own body. And, also stopping time with objects or just matter that he touches, like air. How is Subaru being able to see the souls of people when he closes his eyes? How do you go from one to another? Though I guess it's like it just depends on the person, because Echidna, the witch of greed, her authority was the tomes of wisdom. So all three, abilities connected to the greed witch factor are different. So what the hell do I know? But I think this is really, really good for Subaru. I think it would make it makes for a better ability for him than what it did for Regulus. And I think it just shows, it manifests within you based on your personality. So for Subaru, it's like he always wants to know where everyone is, to be able to plan accordingly and protect them better. And, Regulus was all about, like, just me. So it would make sense that that's how his authority manifested, by protecting only himself and using others to do so. And Echidna was, greedy about knowledge. So that's how it came about. Then you have the sloth witch factor. Is like, it seems like every time, whether it's Sekhmet, although that's implied. Then we have Juice, and then Subaru. All of them use it the same way. The number of hands is different, but it's basically the same ability. So I don't know, but it's neat. I like it. And like I said, I really like the visualization of like he's in space with like, a at one point it almost looked like a meteor shower. But yeah, it is kind of funny that at one point Subaru is like, Ram is one thing, but Emilia-chan is too cute to break a wall, isn't she? Like, we are putting in the forefront that as much as this version of Subaru has grown, there's still, big biases that Season 1 Subaru still had to deal with, that this one hasn't had the time to reflect on. I did like that little moment with Subaru seeing that everyone forgot about Amelia. Because usually, it's him asking Amelia about someone she's forgotten. Obviously, he wouldn't remember that, but this Subaru has come to a point where he cares so much and, trusts her so much that it still affects him like this. Like, obviously, Ojibaru would have an even bigger reaction, but just the fact that he has this, and comparing it to how when he doubted everyone, it's just nice to see. In a weird way, right? Because it hurts. And so when she's like, oh, you might have forgotten me, but He's an enemy, a bad guy, not me. And Subaru reassures her like, I haven't forgotten you. No matter what happens, I will never forget you. And it's like, ooh, hold on, buddy, you cannot say that you don't know that. It already happened once. But I do like how happy that makes Amelia. And I think it's more so that it's not, even though it's something that he can't promise truly, even though she doesn't remember that speech, from that failed loop. It's something that she still feels and thinks about, like, even if he does forget me, I'll still make sure to make a new bond with him. And no matter how he may have met me now, I'll let him know how much he means to me. Yeah, now I'm like, okay, so wait a minute. The first loop in this episode, that Reed was Roy? So then he was just beating up Lie for appearance's sake? That feels counterproductive to me. But hey, he definitely didn't kill him, so I feel like he was, just acting. But like, I don't know. It could be that was Reed, but at that moment Roy was not in control. I don't know. Oh my god. That moment when Lai is about to do the from zero moment. And even though, this Subaru wouldn't remember it, just the impression that Rem left last episode is enough to make him mad. And it's like, don't you dare try to imitate her. And Lai, he's content with that. All that until, everyone starts attacking him. And he uses an ability from someone he's eaten. Thankfully, Ram saved Amelia. Even if it was in a tsundere way. But honestly, yeah, I think this was an episode where I don't have as much to say. But, rewatching it for next week, I might have some insight that I didn't think about. Like, there's probably something with Julius of, like, Subaru right away in the second loop telling him that he's the one that needs to do this. But, like, I feel like I already talked about in this, in the discussion pre-episode this time, so, yeah. A rare time where I do a ReZero reaction in less than 50 minutes, but yeah, this was less meaty episode in terms of like things to analyze for me. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Till next time, see ya.